Hello everybody, welcome to Simuvision. I'm Eric, a Simuvision pilot, and today we'll be talking about the Simuvision DIY KE-FCS, also known as Keyboard Emulator Flight Control System. This is my favorite device. Me and my papa made it, and we also call it Keyboard Emulator Flight Control System, KE-FCS. Oh, I really love this. Instead of going and using your mouse on your simulator and taking your mouse to whatever instrument you want to change or value you want to change, you can just press a button here as if you're actually in the cockpit. What I really love. For example, lighting, you have strobe, landing, panel light, all of the lights if you want, radio communication, autopilot, navigation. Oh, here, see, look, nav and GPS. When you press, oh my gosh, look. And nav and GPS light switches on. And same with autopilot master switch. What I really love. Ooh, also, gear up and down. That's also my very favorite. When you go in the back, there's a connector. This is an unplug and plug connector. What you see all the way down there is a pedal, leg pedal. That's for our brakes. As you can see over there, those two pedals, they're for our rudders. But as you can see, they look a little different. That is because they originally were from this steering wheel. It's called Wingman Formula GP. I used to race, car racing actually. But now we found a cheap solution instead of buying an actual rudder pedal. So we programmed it to be like rudder pedals. Now we'll move on to this Samsung Galaxy Tab 2 10.1 inch. I use this for navigation, GPS actually. I connect it to FSX and I can see where I'm going. I'll show you how this works when I'm starting FSX. This is a Logitech Extreme 3D Pro joystick. I use this to fly with Airbuses and helicopters. As you know, helicopters are very difficult to fly, but they're also very fun to fly. You have to use both combination of your hands and legs. That's why I use my rudder pedals down there. And Airbuses, they don't use traditional yokes. Instead, they use joysticks. That's why I put them to the left, as I'm a captain. Now let's go to the yoke. This is a Celtec yoke, what now is Logitech actually. And with it came its throttle quadrant. I really like flying with this. Now let's go to the software I'm using. I'm using Flight Simulator, also called as FSX. This is an i5 machine with 6 GB of RAM and has 1 TB of hard drive. This has a graphics card GT420, what unfortunately isn't such a strong graphics card, but it still allows us to have 2 monitors instead of 3. You must be wondering, what is this? Well, actually this is a third monitor where I have my instrument panels. Well, this is not technically a third monitor, it's actually connected using Wi-Fi with the help of an Android box. So it acts like a third monitor. Right now I won't use it because I use this whenever I'm flying a helicopter or Cessna. So let me just switch it off. So now let's begin with the startup process. So I'm using Flight Simulator, or also called as FSX Deluxe Edition. It's old, but it still does the job. So let's start Microsoft Flight Simulator. While it's booting up, I'll start with connecting this guy to the computer. We use this application that allows both this Samsung device and our computer to communicate. It is called FS Move Map Server 2. It's free to download on Google Play. make sure it's an Android device. It's not available on Apple devices, sadly. So I'm gonna start the server. It's ready and it has detected that FSX is online. It'll say welcome and we have to press let's fly. And there you go, it'll show the screen. Now you have to press this connect button to connect it to FSX. And there you go, it's loaded, it has connected. It says even here client is connected. Now we're in the cockpit. And as any cockpit, all pilots have to wear headgear so they can talk and listen to the ATC. Now, this headset is a USB headset, and actually it gives a capability of another sound card. So, my computer actually gets two sound cards. One I can listen, what is this, for the ATC in my ear, and the other for effects using my default speakers. But in this case, I will have ATC running from my default speakers instead of this. So let's go to settings and see if that's changed. Yep, all is good. But just for the feel, I will wear this still. Now you can see, I have loaded my aircraft, Beach Baron. And now I'm gonna load the flight plan. As you can see, there's no flight plan loaded. But now, when I open my flight plan, press OK, say yes, now you can see there is a flight plan loaded. That means they are now communicating. Okay, so now I'll do my pre-flight check and see you later. I've now done my pre-flight check. And today I'll be doing an IFR flight. That means ILS landing. So I have all my information here on my scratch pad of all of the airport and its degree and everything. In the left monitor, you can see this is where my view is. I can see the aircraft. And the right monitor, I have my instrument panel. So let's put the information into the plane. Okay, let's start. You press the nav button, you change the value as what we want. Okay. And then we press the same button again to reach the decimals. So we change it. Okay. That's good. I'm gonna leave it on standby. Now I'm gonna change the cruise to 0. Oh. It's already set. So now let's contact the tower for IFR clearance. So let's see. IFR clearance is 121.3. So let's put that in. Let's press function and that. Now we are here. 121 and press again to reach the decimal value 0.3. And then we switch it from standby to active. Now we see it has a new option, request IFR clearance. Let's do that. Now we say read back. Hi, we're done our pre-flight check and taxi. As you can see, we're on the runway. So let's do our takeoff checklist. So let's put flaps to approach in this aircraft. Let's put our trim to takeoff trim. Let's put it there. Yep. Let's release the parking brakes. And yes, lights. You can see our panel lights switching off and on, and our landing lights over here switching on and off. Good. So now let's request for takeoff clearance.
Toronto Tower, Beach, November 058 Bravo Echo at runway 33 right, ready for takeoff. 058 Bravo Echo, cleared for takeoff, runway 33 right.
Okay, now let's acknowledge.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 33 right, beach, November 058 Bravo Echo.
Great, so we got clearance. Now let's fly. Let's put 50% throttle. Engine stabilizing. Stabilized, let's put 100% throttle. V1. Rotate. Okay, good. Let's put our gear up. And our landing light off. Let's put our heading hold and altitude hold and switch on autopilot. And there you go.
Toronto Tower, beach 8 Bravo Echo. Say again. Beach 8 Bravo Echo. Contact Toronto departure on 133.4. 133.4 for beach 8 Bravo Echo.
So as I'm flying right now, I cannot talk to you. I have to focus on the instruments and the ATC. So I'll be doing a voiceover right now.
Toronto departure, beach November 058 Bravo Echo. Is climbing through 1,700 for 3,000. Beach November 058 Bravo Echo. Toronto departure, roger. Altimeter 2992.
As you can see, I'm following the instructions as per ATC and making changes to my instruments by only using my keyboard emulator flight control system.
Northwest, turn left, heading 315, climb and maintain 3,000. Expect vectors ILS, runway 8, approach. Turn left, heading 31.
The beeps that you can listen to means that my instruments have captured the ILS localizer. Now, very shortly, I will be landing. I'm on my final approach now, and it's time to configure my aircraft for landing. Stabilizing airspeed and flaps down to approach. Landing gear down. You can see on the right of your screen, there will be 3 green lights. Gear down and locked. Flaps down to full. Time to switch off autopilot. Autopilot off and taking manual control. Now you can see I have successfully landed.
Beach 8 Bravo Echo, exit runway when able.
And now contacting ground tower.
City round, beach November 058 Bravo Echo. Request taxi to parking.
I hope you enjoyed our flight demonstration with our keyboard emulator flight control system. As it is a keyboard emulator, all of these buttons here can be programmed. You can see my aircraft here is on its cold state. So now we're going to switch it on and see the engines work and the avionics switch on and the battery switch on. All just using our keyboard emulator here. Okay, so let's begin. Let's switch on the battery. Battery check. Let's switch on the avionics. Avionics check. Let's switch on the panel lights. Panel lights check. And last but not least, our engines. Let's switch that on. And there you go, it's on. Now let's switch it off. So let's first start with our engines. Engines off. Let's switch off our panel lights. Panel lights off. Our avionics. Avionics off. And our battery. Batteries off. I hope you enjoyed this video. And please subscribe, share, and like this video. And while you're doing that, hit the bell icon. Goodbye!